Today I'm tackling some concrete DIYs because I already had it at home and we can't leave our house unless we're going to work or grocery shopping. Hey, I'm Janelle, this is toDIYfor, and I do new DIYs every Wednesday, so if you're not already subscribed, I hope you subscribe and come back every week. And if you are coming back every week already because you're part of the fam, thank you. So like I said, I am not allowed to leave the house right now. We're under a stay-at-home order in Ontario. I totally respect it. So I went rummaging through my DIY closet and I've got some concrete and I've got recycling. Pair those two together, you can actually make some really cool DIYs. That would have been the case if my boyfriend didn't throw out all the hand-selected trash that I kept. He literally went digging through the recycling. It was dirty, it was gross, and then he threw it all out again, and they came and got the garbage, so. I had to come up with some unique new ideas on how to create a few of these DIYs, but you know, that's besides the point. Just keep in mind if you want to recreate this, the recycling bin is actually a really great spot for molds for concrete DIYs. And you know what? It turns out that concrete is totally on trend for 2021. I found out just the other day that it's apparently a big design trend for 2021. Perfect. Let's get into it.
All right, so first I'm going to transform these. I have a set of 4 of them that were gifted to me from a friend who was just getting rid of them and thought maybe I could DIY with them. And I finally came up with an idea because I've had them for a while. So I'm going to chop off the stand. Now you can do this with a hacksaw, and I did do that with the first one. It took quite a while. And I do have metal blades for my jigsaw. So I got my boyfriend to help me out. That made super quick work of cutting through that. And now we can go ahead and create a new base for them. So this is where I wanted to use a 2-liter bottle of pop, cut it apart, and be able to make a plastic mold around the outside. The trash got thrown out, so I'm improvising with some cardstock and some tape. Now, paper, not the best idea for a mold. Cardstock is going to be, you know, heavier duty and work better for a concrete mold. This is just what I had to work with. But I basically made this circle form around the base of that and taped it as tight as I could, so hopefully none of the concrete actually seeps through. And then I used a ruler to mark a few points so that all of the concrete that I'm pouring on each one of these is the same thickness, so that these are all the same height. So whatever concrete mix you're using, just follow the directions on how it tells you how to mix it up. It's usually kind of like a peanut butter-ish kind of consistency, maybe a little bit thinner than that. And the tapping method is a great way to get out a lot of the bubbles and to get it to rest flat. Now, what I was working with actually set really, really quickly. I was able to pull this off like an hour afterwards. And here's why the paper is not a great option. A lot of it did rub off here, like you can see. That was only because it was still ever so slightly damp. For the other ones, I ended up having to take a hard scrub pad and wet the paper that remained on there and really scrub at it to get it all off. So if you can use plastic, use plastic. It'll be way better. So what I ended up doing now is just giving everything a really good sand, especially on the base and the bottom of these new candle holders. Also in the area where I had to add an extra little piece of paper because there's a few grooves. But sanding it right down, you can't even tell that that was there to begin with. And it looks really good. And as you can see, and really hardly any concrete seeped through the tape job that I did. Now, if I was thinking straight, I probably would have painted these before I did the concrete base. I didn't, so I had to tape them off, and I just spray painted all of these with a fresh coat of black paint. You could end it there, but I had decided to put a few felt feet on the bottom of this so it doesn't scratch any surface that I put these out on display. So another thing that's really great for concrete molds is cartons. So I luckily had some leftover eggnog still in the fridge. I drank it up and now I can use it to make this candle. So the reason why cartons work so good is because they have a little bit of a waxy film on the inside and it'll peel right off. I added these 2 thin pieces of wood that I got from the dollar store. I already had them kind of hanging around at home. I used a little bit of wood glue to stick them to the sides of the carton, mixed up my concrete, and allowed that to set. So these are just some candles I already had at home. I'm going to melt them down and make a new candle with them. If you're doing this on the stove, you want to make sure that your water is hot but not boiling. It's a slow melt. So I was able to pull out a wick from one of those candles. I hot glued it to the bottom of the concrete that had dried in this carton. And then I'm going to pour in my new wax for my candle. If you grab a pencil or just a wooden rod and you wrap the wick around that, that keeps it in the center when you're making your candle. So as you can see, cartons are really great for molds. This peeled off so easily. I was able to just take scissors and cut that thin piece of wood down to the height of my new candle. I sanded it first to get off any of that excess wood glue, and then I stained the remaining piece of wood that is showing here. And I absolutely love the way this candle turned out with the 3 different elements, the different textures and colors. I think it looks beautiful. I don't know that this is going to be a candle that I actually light. I don't know if it would be a good idea with the wood there, but I think it just looks cool as a piece of decor. And as for the other candle holders, I think they'd look really great styled in a centerpiece or just random decor around the house. I hope you enjoyed this week's DIY. Let me know which one was your favorite. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new to my channel. Come back next week. I'll have a new one for you.